Hello, everybody, from Ford Field in downtown Detroit, which turns out to be the home away from home for the Buffalo Bills as they rally against the Browns by the end of the first half and then dominate the game in the second half. Away with a much-needed win for them to halt a two-game losing streak. They beat the Browns by a score of 31-23, and the Browns now drop to 3-7 on the season, coming home next week to take on Tom Brady and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, when you think about it, there's a sameness to these losses. It's not just that the Browns don't finish games. It really is, you can boil it down to be more specific. They don't finish drives. And then that accumulates as the game goes along, and suddenly they're coming up empty too many times, and it was only a matter of time before Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills would get going, which they did, and really by halftime when the Bills took over the lead only by a couple of points, you just had a bad feeling that it's going to be the same old script, and the Browns are going to wilt in the second half, which they did. But you go back to critical points in the first half. The Browns come out storming once again and score right away. Go ahead 7-0 in the game. But then their next drive, let's go inside of that. First and goal at the 8-yard line. A direct snap to Nick Chubb. Now, I know that worked a couple of weeks ago in the Browns' greatest win of this season against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. But remember where Chubb was on that play. He was at the 1-yard line, not the 8-yard line. The direct snap to him took a 6-yard loss. And then in consecutive plays, bang, bang, Browns tight ends dropped passes in the end zone. Harrison Bryant first, and then Pharaoh Brown. Both dropped passes, eliminating the Browns to get a touchdown, and they settle for a field goal. And really, that was it. Once again, another promising drive going, and the Browns fumble a snap. Now, there's a reason for that. Ethan Posick, their starting center, went out with a knee injury early in the game, and Yelda Froholt went in at center in an emergency basis. He's really on their depth chart, their fourth center, and there were problems, and the Browns lost the ball there. Buffalo took advantage of that, went in, got the late touchdown at the end of the first half, and then came right out. As they came out and double dipped, they went right at the Browns at the start of the second half, and the Browns gave up point after point after point, and in total gave up 6 field goals to Tyler Bass. But once again, the sameness to the loss. In the second half, the Browns completely deteriorate. Arm tackling leads to running plays by the Buffalo Bills backs, no matter who it was, Singletary or Cook, just running through a paper-thin Browns defense in the second half for big yardage. And then more special teams problems. The Browns give up a big return in the first half, which ends in a Buffalo field goal, but then they have a blocked field goal. Cade York has one put back at him. It looks as though there was a real problem with communication and blocking up on the front of the line, and the Browns come away empty once again. So as this goes along, the disappointment is this. Nothing is changing right now. The Browns always seem to come out like a house of fire, go right down and score, but after that, they never really add to the lead. They never continue to keep their foot down on the gas pedal, and they always seem to make mistakes. They really come up with big mistakes that unplug drives and then leads to a situation where they fall too far behind and they end up losing once again. So what's left? They're 3-7. One more game for Jacoby Brissett. That comes up next Sunday at home against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. It would really be great to see Brissett get a win. He's done a very admirable job in a tough situation to have to play the first 11 games while we wait for Deshaun Watson. And about that wait, it's not much longer. One more game, and then Watson's up for the final 6 when the Browns head at the beginning of December down to Houston to take on his old team, the Houston Texans. But this is pretty glum right now. It really is. 3-7 for still, I think, a pretty talented football team. But now the problems are completely across the landscape. The offensive line is struggling, a bit battered, but struggling. The running game that was really the calling card for the Browns offensively, it's not there. Nick Chubb is running into walls. Kareem Hunt has to hurdle over people. The running game that really opened up so many things for them is failing them, certainly in the last 2 weeks against Miami and today against the Buffalo Bills. And the Browns season is gone right now, and so all we can do is sit back and hope Brissett gets a win next week in his final game as the Browns quarterback, and then we'll see what Deshaun Watson has for the final 6 games of the season. But 3-7, very, very tough to take. Final score, the Bills win it over the Browns 31-23. From Ford Field in downtown Detroit, I'm Jim Donovan for WKYC.com.